Good evening. What is going on? Ooh. Yeah, I had a rough night. After all the stress from yesterday, between stress and yesterday I bought coconut flour and I tried that and I made chicken and I tried to make breading. Oh, that coconut flour fucked me up. Alone, it put me into like a food wave. I don't get those too often because I never eat anything different. But between that and my guts being fucked all night long, I guess I shouldn't do coconut. Boy, that was rough. But whatever, it was worth a try. I was actually supposed to look for cauliflower flour because that I know I can have, and I was confusing them, and I got the wrong one anyway. But I didn't even realize it. It tasted great though, but it didn't go over well. A spike of symptoms. It kept me awake, and I had a lot of stress about a few things. But I actually feel a little more stable today than normal, which is sometimes happens when I don't sleep. But that just means tomorrow I'll probably be full of fog and DPDR. It's pretty typical the way things work, but maybe not. I might go to work tomorrow. I don't know. When did I go what day is today? Saturday? I went Thursday. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not sure. I got my car washed today. I couldn't see through the windows anymore. It was so dirty. It ended up costing me a lot, but it was well worth it. It's all shiny. It's all shiny now. Good for the winter. I got it waxed. Well, you know, for a car wash wax. I don't know how good it is, but paid a little extra. It's nice. They cleaned my windows on the inside too. So at least I can see while driving now. That helps. So that was something nice to do. I don't like really spending money on shit like that. But it was like $32 because I tipped a lot of people. So in the end, it would have been 25, but in the end, I tipped like $7 to people. But it ended up being a really nice job, and finally needed to get done. And then I'll do it after winter, and then I'll be good. Usually try to do it twice a year. It's just going to be a mess soon, anyways, because it'll be snowing. But it was just disgusting. The windows just were shut totally dirty, just disgusting. Ooh. Still on edge though. I mean, even when I fall asleep and like when I took a nap, body vibrating, every time I'm about to fall asleep. It's the longest it's been like that ever. Usually when I have that kind of thing, it lasts for about a week. It's been like 3 weeks. So I'm just holding out. I can always tell I do better. Hey, good to see you. I can always tell I'm doing better when I'm able to like fall asleep in the day without my body freaking out and stuff like that. But right now it's kind of just staying at this certain level. My anxiety of going to sleep in the day doesn't help because I think about it. If I didn't think about it, I just probably would be a lot better. Congratulations. It's a good thing. I cannot wait till I'm off Remeron one day. I've been off benzos for so fucking long, but the Remeron just basically keeps my nervous system fucked up from the benzos. So it's so hard to explain that to people. It's like I'm not going through benzo withdrawal, but that syndrome of when it fucked up my nervous system, any kind of medication will just scratch at it, and it just you can't do it. My therapist says you can't take any medication. I said no. Doesn't matter what it is. If I take something and it's something that can work right away and not build up in your system, it'll work, but I'll have a setback from it. So I have to weigh how much I want to suffer. Like if I'm suffering tremendously and I take something, get some relief, pay the piper kind of shit, I'll get the relief, but I'm gonna have to pay for it later. Just once in a while I do, but it's rare. When I got off of when I fucked up the Remeron, some of the torture from that was so fucking terrible. I took a little bit of gabapentin twice, and it helped. But boy, did I pay for it! But it helped. It did help me get through. But like as I tell everybody else, I will not take anything more than a couple times unless things are excruciating. If I don't sleep for days, and days, I'll take something. But it'll only be a couple times. I will not take anything long enough to get dependent on it. Because all those things just give me side effects anyways. So I might as well just deal with the side effects of not sleeping or whatever the problem is gonna be. Yeah, it's just another antidepressant. Some people who haven't had benzo damage, they still have a lot of issues getting off that stuff, but they probably would want to fucking off themselves if they had benzo damage, then had to get off that shit. I honestly would have been off Remeron in probably 6 months, not years, if I didn't have a damaged nervous system. I was on tramadol for years, and I took a lot of it. I totally abused it because I had to keep taking more and more and more and more and more to get it to work. And eventually I had to get off of it because I was taking so much of it. And I basically cold turkeyed it. Oh, pretty, not fully, but I tapered for like a week. And the withdrawal was like 2 months. 2 months. It was like nothing. I thought I was going to die. But now if I look back at the withdrawal from that, it was like nothing. Man, it was like nothing. I was still driving and working. Like now I'm very limited, but then I was just still doing all the same shit. Just feeling really sick from withdrawal. It was amazing. But I thought, getting on benzos, I'm like, well, if I have to get off of it, it would be like tramadol. It's just like you just suck it up, tolerate it, and you'll be better in a couple months. Who knew it would destroy my body? and brain and suffering and almost ruin everything that's good to me. Me and my girlfriend don't have a relationship like we once had. We're still together, but it's not like it was. And I miss that a lot because we were a cool couple. I thought we were great together. Now it's just kind of like we love each other, but it's hard. We were great. We were great together. At one point before this whole mess, we were just made for each other. And now it's just like taking care of me and which not really, but just trying to basically get through life, not enjoying it, just getting it through. That sucks. We'll see what happens. I hate not knowing, what my future holds. I know my future is tapering, like excruciatingly slow. I don't have a timeline to get off from around. It's just when I can do it. Because if I overdo it, I'll never get off of it. So I don't care how many years it takes. But it's fucking torture. But just in the last 2 days, I've been told that, last few days, that I should suck it up like a man and cold turkey it. And I was told today that I should get on Boospar. Terrible, terrible things people say in comments. Things that make no sense. So I always say, never suggest people anything. And if you're going to suggest something, say, this worked for me, and I'm not sure if it would work for you, but this is my suggestion, you know? Because suggestions, that's how I got into this situation by listening to others. I don't blame anybody else, but I mean, seriously, don't suggest things that can seriously harm others, or like talk about drugs without any knowledge of the drug whatsoever. I believe the person said Buspar is non-addictive and will have no withdrawal. That's impossible. It hits serotonin. First off, I tried that before benzos, and it was a horrible drug. But the point is, there's not going to be something that hits serotonin that does not get you dependent on it. It just doesn't happen that way. So for it to not have a withdrawal would be impossible. It's just same thing they say about fucking Remeron. It's so easy to get off of. Then why am I still tapering it 4 years later? This is ridiculous. Fucking shit destroys me. Whatever. So if I did everything people suggested, I would absolutely have been dead years ago. And actually, beyond benzos and probably 4 different SSRIs, painkillers, smoking weed while taking CBD, and oh yeah, and using a lot of mushrooms. Forgot about that. I could go on and on of the things that people say will make me better. And none of it's true. None of it's true. Not in benzo bullshit. If you have a damaged nervous system from benzos, none of that shit's going to help you. And if it does, you're going to pay for it one way or another. And if it does help you in the meantime, you're just going to have another serious withdrawal on top of what your damaged nervous system. As I keep saying, I'd rather suffer now and get through it. If for some reason I can't get through it because I'm suffering too bad, then I'll have to figure that out then. And believe you me, it's gotten way hard. There's a lot of days I sit and think there's no way I'm going to get through this. I literally do take one day at a time. But I wouldn't be able to talk if I took all these suggestions. Literally, I'm on 1.1 milligrams of Remeron. That's all of pharma other than Prilosec. And I'm going to taper that one day. But the only psych medication I am left on is 1.1 milligrams of Remeron. That is fucking it, you guys. Do you think I'm going to fuck that up by taking new SSRIs and shit? I'm already on an SSRI. Well, it's like an SSRI anyway. I'm not fucking up. I mean, like, thing is, SSRIs never worked for me, and I've tried like 8. So why would I keep taking them? It's like getting beaten in the kneecap with a bat and letting it heal, and then saying the only way it's going to get fully better is if somebody comes around here and hits me in the kneecap with a bat. We already know it doesn't work, so why keep doing it? Exactly. Stupid. Will my relationship make it? God, I fucking hope so. I love her to death, but I don't know. And will my taper be longer because of the stress that I'm going through because of life and relationship stuff? Yeah. Will I get sick? Yeah. Things just take too long because of all the bullshit with COVID and, what I have to do to just get by. It's been 3 months and like 23 days since I cut, and I'm not ready to cut yet. And I've got to stop beating myself up for that as long as it is. And it's really disappointing to me. You got to understand it sucks. I've worked so hard to taper, and I'm at a point where I could barely taper anymore. But if I hurry it up like I once did, my nervous system's even going to get worse, and I can't afford it. So it's like, even if it took me 5 fucking years to get off this stuff, I'm getting off of it. And I'm doing it that way. Will it change? I don't know. I know that if it gets to be too much and I just say fuck it and just cold turkey the rest of the medication, that would be fucking horrendous. But no matter what, I'm not going to be dependent on a new drug just to get me through it. Not going to do it. Rather die. Because I can't live that way. The side effects and my nervous system being so shot, I can't take it. I cannot take it. I'm exhausted. I am absolutely fucking exhausted of this. To know how long I have to go is absolutely terrible. And that's when my anxiety gets really high, because it's like, I hope my cuts don't take this long each time. I try not to worry about it, but it's almost impossible not to worry about it. I've been talking a lot about my visual snow situation, and mine has progressed so bad in this, and I could barely tolerate it. And there's nothing I can do about that. So having 2 things that are completely disregarded by the medical community is excruciating. Trying to have that and live a decent life otherwise, what a fucking mess it is. It's just a mess. But one day at a time. Like, I was at 1.2 and I made it to 1.1, but that cut's been actually horrendous. Next cut will be to 1.0, and that will be, I don't know, percentage. I don't know if I bookmarked it. Search bookmarks. Soup. There it is. The percentage calculator. I wish I could throw it on there. So 1.1 milligrams to 1.0 calculate will be 9%. Let me see. 1.2 to 1.1. Yeah, it's not even 10%, and it's so fucking brutal. That's crazy. At least it's not full 10% yet. That's good. So 9.9, 9.09091%. So close. But let's see what 1.0 to 0.9. That's 10. That's a 10% decrease. 0.9 to 0.8 will be a 11.1111 decrease. And that keeps kind of going up. So that's how it gets harder as I go. I can't go any lower because the scale doesn't do it, so whatever. I'm just going to have to suck it up. If it gets too hard, I have to wait longer. That's why it's going to take years to just get off this little amount because I still have to work. And if it gets too bad, like it has been, I can't taper again just to speed it up because then I'll be debilitated and have to wait much longer. Because once it gets really sensitive, it's really hard to pop back up. Well, anyway, so my next cut will be over 9%, which for me is really high. So I'm still walking, not a lot, but I am still walking. Let me see. I use an app called Pacer, Pacer, and it's free for what I use it for. I'm able to GPS my walk, and I can press start, and it will time it and give you elevations and how long, and it's great. It's free. So today I walked for 0.31 miles, so not even a half a mile, but I still went out for a walk. Yesterday I walked for a little over 1 mile in Walmart. The place is fucking terrible. Before that, I did 0.51 miles. And before that, there was about 5 days I did 0.31 to 0.37, which is, under a half mile. But I'm making an effort to walk a little more. I think it makes my physical symptoms and mental symptoms a little bit worse. But I'm working, strengthening my nervous system. So it's never easy. I don't overdo it like I'm showing you. I'm doing really short, to start. I don't know why I did a mile in Walmart. I don't know where the fuck I went, but I kind of had to dodge everybody as I was going. Fatigue. That's like the most. Everybody has fatigue in benzo withdrawal, but yeah, that's the easiest one. Well, it's not easy, but everybody's got fatigue. I've been fatigued since I was young, though, so it's not like I haven't felt awake in years. Probably 25 years. I was never big on exercising and stuff, and I'm hoping, with this whole mess, because I have this whole big plan, um, to once I'm off Remeron and I'm able to function, because I'm sure when I'm off, it's going to be really hard for a good year. Once I'm able to, I'm hoping I can start exercising a little bit again, start strengthening my body and brain. Yeah, 7 months off. I mean, I could tell you, I went through acute to about 6 months. Mine was fucking horrific. So fatigue was like nothing in comparison to anything I went through. But if that's one of your big ones, then don't worry about it. It'll get better. It always does. If it's not your norm, everything always gets better. Just watch your diet and do everything by the book so you get better, you know. Don't overdo it if you can't. Like there's a lot of things I could do, but I know if I do, it will fuck me up. It's kind of it kind of sucks because it's like I could walk a mile or two every day, but if I do, it'll definitely fuck me up. That's good. You just take it day by day, you know. That's all you can do. If you're not severely suffering, feel very lucky. No, it might be hard, but if you're not, in an extreme suffering situation, feel very lucky. I was only in benzos for 3 months tops, and the suffering I've endured has been completely unfathomable. My acute state after benzos of horrific suffering was about 6 months. And then it was years of hell. And it wasn't until I started getting lower on Remeron till things started to clear up a little bit. It's like now it's like I'm not calm, but it's like better, you know. 3 months. I was on benzos for 3 months. It literally took my almost killed me 2 weeks after I was taking them. And it scared me so bad. I couldn't just jump off of it because I probably would have died. But then that's what the fucking psychiatrist did anyway. So, whatever. I tapered it myself for about 2 weeks. And that made absolutely no fucking difference whatsoever. I just cold turkeyed it basically. And literally, this whole mess is still going on almost 5.5 years later. Nobody believes me. No doctors believe me that it actually happened. They always say it must have been something else. I'll be like, well, then you should have fucking been there to help me figure out what it was then. I knew what it was, but it doesn't matter. I like to make them feel stupid. But I've worked really hard to get to this point. And my brain and body are completely exhausted. But after I over tapered the Remeron about 9 months, 10 months ago, whatever it's been, I didn't do much of anything other than trying to heal and going out for work when I could. But I stopped walking and everything. I made reasons in my head. I'm like, I couldn't do it after I fucked it up. I just couldn't do it. I was severely fucked. But now it's been a couple weeks. I'm starting to walk again. It's hard though because my body's not used to it, but I think it's good for me and my tapering to get my body a little stronger, even if it's just my muscles, giving me more energy, which I don't have yet, but I just started. But to get more energy so I feel a little better. My visual snow will probably feel a little bit, be a little better. The more awake I am, the better it is. And I'm never fucking awake. As we were talking about fatigue, I'm never awake. I'm always tired. So just saying, things get better. And it always does. I mean, it's like, even with my horrific nervous system, and mine's bad, um, it may take a long time for me to kick back from a cut, but it always does get a little better. I don't know why the nervous system is such a weird piece of shit, considering our bodies are so amazing, but it can be really hard. And always know, and I try to think of this too, always know there's people out there that are way worse than us. And we just have to kind of keep our head up and do the best we can. Hmm. Yeah. They just don't know they know how to give you the pills, but they don't know how to take you off of them. And half the time it doesn't matter, but, like, with me, there was no good option, like, tapering was not even a good option. I even admit that. It would not have helped me at all. I was so fucking sick, and sometimes you can just get so sick that you have to drop it, and I understand some people do, and I'm hoping I don't get to that point, but we'll see what happens. Well, the withdrawal isn't really that long, and I wish doctors would understand there's a syndrome, that can happen. And it's like the withdrawal isn't that long, usually a month or 2, but it's the shock to the nervous system and brain is what you're dealing with for years. That's why I won't say I'm in benzo withdrawal. I'm not. I haven't been in benzo withdrawal in 5 years. But I'll say it's benzo withdrawal syndrome, and I don't even barely say that. I'll usually say my nervous system was completely fucked and shocked when they took me off of benzos, and when they put me on the Remeron, all it did was scratch and itch at my fucking nervous system, and the only way I'm gonna get better is by getting off this medication, but it's so fucking hard to get off the medication when your nervous system is completely damaged. It's a complete cycle of hell. So I have to do it at this slow snail pace, even though the medicine makes me sick. And I know it's not good for me. But I've also been on it for 4 years or 5 years, so it's not like my body's not used to it. So whatever. That's kind of the problem is being on a medication that makes you sick and you should have never been put on in the first place. People say, well, why don't you just stay on it? What am I going to stay on it for? Stuff makes me fucking severely ill, mentally and physically ill. All right, I'm hanging up tonight. Yeah, you take care. I mean, just get some rest and know that it will get better in time, and fatigue does get better in time, and anything else does get better in time. Just watch your diet and take care of yourself. And if you go into a wave because of certain things, s- just keep watching these things. Do your research and make sure you're not completely setting yourself back all the time for one reason or another. And it can be hard, but whatever. It's just one of those things. Everybody's different. Everybody thinks uh, everybody thinks their own withdrawal is the worst withdrawal in the world, and pretty much is because it's yours. So you just keep trucking. Yeah, I'll do my best. We'll see you later.